So I'll be discussing things about the project. I'll be showing you a simple demonstration of things. So as you will be downloading this project, you will not have this data folder inside it. So you need to create this data folder. Inside the data folder, you need to create this fault box folder, pickup box folder, and sendbox folder. The meaning of all these folders is according to the specifications which you had mentioned in the README file. So first, this is the first thing that needs to be done before the project is started. Apart from that, a server cache should also be running. So this Redis server should be running. This is being used by the queue processing the npm module. Apart from that, the third thing which is required is inside the config folder, there is a file called config.json. This line number 12 and 13, you can see there is a field called admin email and admin password. You need to provide a valid Gmail account credential before the SMTP server can start working. So now I'll start the things. Firstly, I'll show you a very basic EML file. Like, just hold on a second. I'll show you a very basic EML file from to subject the content of the email. What I'll be doing is this data folder, this pickup box folder is being monitored. Like if you'll be pasting any file or some new file will be added by any third party, this folder is being monitored for addition of new file. It will be rejecting any file which is not of an extension of .eml. It will also be rejecting files which are of greater than 10 MB. And it will be rejecting EML files if the sender is not authorized. Like in the config file, you can see these two accounts are there. Only these two accounts are authorized to send mails. Any mail which is not from these two will not be considered a valid EML file. So firstly, I am showing you a very basic thing. So like, see this, what I am doing is I am starting my server. So the server is running, the Redis cache is ready, and now it is checking for SMTP server. It has found the credentials to be correct. If your credentials would be wrong, this server would not run. What this cleaning thing is, that just for the testing purpose, the cleaning would run after every 10 seconds, and it will look in the sendbox folder for RSMI files. If any RSMI file had been there longer than 20 seconds, this is only for testing thing. If any RSMI file had been in the sendbox folder longer than 20 seconds, that file would be deleted. This is a completely background process. It will not be disturbing any addition or deletion or anything related to the working of the entire code. So now what I'll be doing is I'll be pasting this simple EML file and adding it to the pickup box folder. Now let's have these two things side by side. This is my folder and this is our server. So what I did is, see, I added a new EML file. This RSMI file was created. The message was sent and this RSMI file would be removed. I know this whole thing has happened very quickly. So just give me some time. You can see this time difference in days. Let this thing go over 20 seconds and I'll explain what has happened in a very fraction of seconds about it. So yeah, now there would not be any files. It will show 0 files. Just hold on a second. Yeah, I have stopped the server. Now just look at the first thing, 0 files. This is the starting location. This point. This was the first thing which says a new EML file was found. It looked for the extension. Yeah, this extension is valid. The size is valid. Then it added that it has found that okay, this file is a valid EML file. Now the EML is ready. The mail can be sent. So it added that mail to the job queue. It has assigned an ID to that, and it has also, when everything was done related to the email, this RSMI file was created. So that was also that was also there in the same folder. So it found that okay, there is a new file also, but that is an RSMI file, so it simply neglected that. Yeah. So the processing of the queue in which that email was added, and the processing is also happening simultaneously. So the message was sent. And since the message has been sent successfully, the RSMI file would be moved to sendbox folder, the EML file would be deleted, and the corresponding RSMI file would be moved to sendbox folder. So you can see, if you look at, sorry. If you look at above things, there was no, this shows 0 files in sendbox, 0 files in sendbox. Everything, everywhere it is showing 0 file in sendbox. But as soon as this message was sent, those the one this one as soon as they showed the message has been sent, the RSMI file would have been moved to the sendbox folder because it has been sent successfully. So you can see the cleaning says one file found in sendbox folder, file has been found, and it is showing time difference in days. This number is actually time difference in seconds. This is only for testing thing. Like it is checking how much time has elapsed since this file has been there in that sandbox folder. So it is saying 3 seconds. In the next iteration, it is saying 8 seconds, 13 seconds, 18 seconds, now 23 seconds. As soon as the time would be greater than 20 seconds, this RSMI file would be deleted, and now it says 0 files in sandbox folder. Cleaning would be happening in background, it will not be disturbing anything. So this is a very basic test case. Now I'll show you this process again, and we'll be looking at RSMI file, specifically RSMI file, how the content of the RSMI file and all. So what I'll be doing is, I'll start the server again, and okay, I'm starting my server again, node app.js, and what I'll be doing is I'm pasting this file again into picker box. Okay, so this is okay, there is nothing there, like okay, so I am pasting this file in the sandbox 4 code, and in the meantime I have stopped the server before the mail was sent, just to show you the contents, because if the server will be running, it will delete that RSMI file in a fraction of a second. So let's look at the content of RSMI file. The app ID, this is the one which you had mentioned in the README file. Rocket source app URI was not there. Message ID is the name of the EML file. When you will be adding EML file, you will be having some specific unique names to the EML files. So this word would be unique. Message type is EML. Creation is the date when this thing was created, last modified. Status is not there. Failed attempts are 0. Activities. This is the job ID, related job ID, starting date, status, type. Picking is for when the time this thing was added to the queue. It was successfully added, that's why this result is okay. Mode message okay, and when this thing got over, status and pickup. And the second block is empty. This is at the time of, this will get modified when this EML file would be when we'll be sending this file. At that time, this particular block of code will get modified. So I stopped this thing in between because I wanted to look at the contents. If I would have kept the server running, the server would have deleted the RSMI file in a very few moments. So this is like very basic things. I haven't specified like any typical test cases. So this, if I would have continued this server, what would have happened is this email.rs, I'm sorry about this. This email.rsmi file on the left where I have pointed my cursor, this would have shifted from this folder to faultbox folder or sendbox folder, depending upon whether this sending of mail was successful or not. If there would have been some errors, this would have been shifted to faultbox, otherwise this plain sendbox folder. cleaning was happening only in the sandbox folder. It didn't happen for the fault box folder. Some operator or manual person needs to look at the fault box folder. So this is the very basic things. How I'll be specifying things like when when the file would be neglected and all. Okay. So let's say what I am doing is just to clear the screen. I am starting the server again, and what I am showing you the first thing when the size of file is larger. Okay. Oh, just hold on a second. There was something in the pickup folder. Okay, let this thing work. But we don't need to bother about that. You see this large file.eml. This file is of size 47.5 MB. So this is definitely greater than 10 MB. We have a limit of 10 MB specified in the config.json file. What I'll be doing is I'll be pasting this particular large file.eml in the pickup box folder, and let's see how this thing responds. So I have copied this thing, I pasted. Let's open these things side by side. So I have pasted this file, and you can see the file has been simply neglected because the size is exceeding the limit which we have prescribed. So this is the first case in which this email file would be neglected. So let's delete this file again. Okay. Now we will be taking the second test case. Let's create another file with a .txt extension. Okay, so as soon as I created a txt file, it again is saying this thing, invalid file format. So again this file has been neglected. Okay, all the cases which we have discussed until now, in those cases the RSMI file was getting moved to this sandbox folder because the email was getting sent successfully. Now I'll try to look at a case where we'll provide some wrong email addresses so that the email is not sent and it actually moves to fault box folder. So what I am doing is I am taking that again. I am again taking that same EML file, opening in an editor, and as you can see, what I have done is line number 2. I have changed this email address. Obviously you can see this Akshar Som. This is an this is an invalid email address. So I'll try to send an email to this. So I'm again doing that same thing. What I'll do is I'll copy this EML file into pickup box folder and look at what is happening. And you can see it has simply said that the email was rejected, invalid email address, and now the RSMI file is actually in the fault box folder. So now we'll try to look at the RSMI file in an editor. Let's comment last. Okay, so you can see, yeah, this second part. This is the sending activity result from this particular thing. This is the starting time when the sending was started. Status end pickup. Result is KO because the message got failed. Node says message is not sent. End is when this whole thing got ended. Status end is not sent. So this RSMI file would be staying in the fault box folder. It needs the attention of the operator before anything can be done. So I'll say that these all are the test cases which actually came to my mind. So just let me know if something got left. I am pretty sure something must be, because I must have overlooked things or due to some error. Just let me know about if there are some mistakes.